Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this slingbow. This slingbow's got a 30-pound roll weight and it shoots its arrows through this whisker biscuit which I made, and these arrows are homemade arrows, and I'll put a link in the description to show you where my how-to tutorial is of how to make these arrows. So here's a few clips of me shooting before we get started. So let's see how to make the slingbow. So first you need to trace on and cut out the design of the slingbow from the blueprints in the text description of this video. Because the forks for this slingshot are so thin and it's going to be taking a lot of strain on these thinner areas, you're only going to be able to use some high quality multiplex plywood with no voids in it. Now cut the design out twice with a jigsaw. So this is what the pieces look like once I've cut them out. Now I'm going to glue them together using wood adhesive. So now I just need to leave the glue to set. So now that the glue's set, I'm going to start to rasp all of these edges down so that then it makes it look like it's just one big piece of multiplex plywood. So now I've filed everything down and it just looks like one big thick piece of multiplex wood. I have also made sure that this notch where the arrow is going to slide in, as I'm loading it, the arrow can easily slide in like that. Now I'm going to start shaping the palm swell where you grip it like this, and this is going to be a hammer grip slingshot. So this is what the palm swell looks like once I've finished rasping it into the basic shape, and it fits my hand really well, and I can just hold it like this and the palm swell just fits into my palm like that. Also I've got this kind of bit which comes out here which then rests against the top of my hand perfectly like that. Now I'm going to shape the bit where my fingers go on this side. So what I've gone and done now is I've just squeezed the slingshot like this and then marked off where all 4 of my fingers went, and I was holding it as if I was about to shoot it so my fingers went into the natural positions, and now I'm going to make finger grooves going down here. So now I've properly shaped up all of the finger grooves, and a good way to tell whether all of your grooves and everything are symmetrical is by just having a look at all of the grains in the wood where you go through the different layers and see if they're the same on each side, and that makes it much easier. So now I'm going to start work on the whisker biscuit, which is going to hold the arrow in place when you fire it. So instead of using a commercial whisker biscuit, I'm going to make a homemade one. So first what you've got to do is trace a sort of horseshoe shape onto there, and that's going to fit perfectly over the circle bit here on the top of the slingshot. Now you need to cut it out. So now as you can see, this piece fits nicely over the top like that. So what I've done now is I've cut out 2 circles of this milk carton material, and then I've stuck them on with super glue and cut in the edges like that, and now I'm going to stick this wooden piece over like that. So now as you can see, everything's secured nicely on with glue and pins. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Stanley knife and I'm going to start to slowly make cuts, and cuts like that go like this towards the edges, and then keep on doing that until it's really fine. So as you can see now, I've made lots and lots of cuts into this, and I can slide my arrow in here like this, and it is just held in place in the middle like that, and it can easily be pushed forwards and fire out through there like that. So now that the whisker biscuit works, I'm just going to file all of this edge bit so that it's all smooth with the rest of the wood. So now that I've rounded all of this bit out, I'm going to start work on this side. First I'm just going to flatten this bit by a few layers because this is quite thick. So as you can see, I've shaped this side, and what I've done here is I've created a notch in here with the rat tail rasp, and then smoothed it out with the rat tail file, and then carried on the notch all the way around, and the bands are going to attach over this side. So I've smoothed it out here so that it's curved, and then the bands will attach over this side and pull like that. Now I need to do it on the other side. So I've shaped it on the other side now as well, and the slingshot's complete with the basic shape. Before I start sanding, I'm going to go over with a file and just get out all of the deep scratches from the rasp. So I've sanded everything down with files, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to start sanding the slingshot up to 400 grit. So I've sanded the slingshot up to 400 grit. Now I'm going to finish it with some finishing oil. The oil helps protect the wood from heat and water and scratches. So the oil has now dried, and I've applied 2 more layers, so now it's got 3 layers of linseed oil on it, and it's really smooth and it feels really nice to hold. So now it's time to attach some slingshot bands to this. I've already got a tutorial on my channel of how to make slingshot bands, so I'll just put a link in the description to that tutorial so that this video isn't really long. So I've made and attached normal slingshot bands with 3 layers of TheraBand Gold per side, and TheraBand Gold is the most powerful rubber which I can buy. I've tested it out firing a few shots, and I'm really pleased with it. It's really powerful, and it's got a 30-pound raw weight. One of the problems which I only just noticed is I made the circle for the whisker biscuit to be in really small, so when I fire my wooden dowel or my arrow, I've got to make the fletchings on the back quite thin so that they can actually fit through the hole. And if I remake this project, next time I'd make the circle a lot bigger. So let me show you how to load and shoot the slingbow. So first you take your arrow, and this is a homemade arrow which I've made, and there'll be a link in the description to my tutorial of how to make this arrow. Then you slot it in the notch like this, and then just push it in, and it's held in place by the whisker biscuit. Then you put the bands over the back and then push the nock of the arrow into the pouch. Then you grab it like this and put your thumb and index finger over the attachments for the bands, and then you just hold it like this solidly, and then you point it at what you want to shoot. I like to hold it sideways so I don't accidentally flip it like I would with the normal slingshot. Then you pull it back and fire. So that's some clips of me shooting this slingbow. If you want to watch the full shooting video, click the link in the description down below. So thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button down below. Tell me in the comments which weapon you'd like me to make next.